Hello, everybody. It's your boy again, Sam again, aka the train mother in Maine mod, toms and gloms and bombs and jobs. So again, people like to complain about my intro. It's my thing. I try to do it every time. I think I have done it every time. If someone can verify that I've done it in every single one of my videos, I will send them a $10 gift card to a Train website store of their choice. So get on that. It's been about a month since the last update on the layout. Made a lot of progress, a ton of progress. So one thing I was thinking about earlier when I knew I was going to make this video tonight is, so this is my third official, but technically fourth layout. You know, I've done 3 with scenics and whatnot. My first one ever when I was like 8 was on a ping pong table. The more layouts and the more experience you get, the easier, and I don't want to mislead people, it's never easy, but the easier and faster you are at getting to certain points. For example, I think I've only been working on this layout since June, I want to say. Today is September 8th, I believe, 8th or 9th. I think it's the 8th. And I'm already, you know, so call it 2, going on 3 months, and I'm already as far on the layout as I was on the old layout after, you know, over a year. And then prior to that, I never even got to this point, and that was, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. I was, you know, apprehensive and nervous and just like running the trains. But so long story short is keep at it. I've read and heard, and I probably mentioned here before, I think, I forget where I saw it, the average model railroader builds 7 layouts in their lifetime. So if I'll just say 4 because I count the ping pong table one as a layout. There was buildings and trees and bushes and all that stuff. So I'm going to count it. So I'm, you know, this is my halfway point of layouts. You know, I'll be 30 this year too, for anyone that cares to know. So I'm still a young whippersnapper, kind of. But let's jump right on in. So like I said, it's been about a month since the last update on the layout. Sorry, this light, I got staged lights to help. I'm gonna jump right on in. So as of this weekend, I have completely finished my track plan. It is all glued down, everything is glued down. So like I said, that even in itself, in less than 3 months, is a miracle. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly where everything was going to be, which helps with planning and staging. And so when I go to implement something or get it done, I do it and it's done. Like I said, just working fast. So we'll start, I always start down at this corner. So you'll notice a ton of similarities from the old layout. I'm doing it better, more innovative and with experience this time around. So, you know, a lot of it might look somewhat the same, but it's all being done. You know, what I did wrong, I'm not doing, and what I did, I'm doing better. So we'll start with the mine scene. Got my nice, you know, little runaround. Then my secondary little loading, blah, blah, blah. You know, all that goes with the mine. The buildings aren't perfect. I'm going to line them up so I can have as much space off the back as possible. Still might add a little more sections to make all these perfect. Just depends on where this hill will come down. So obviously the main line comes out of the tunnel, yada, yada. I'll probably fill this in. Go ahead and, you know, mine scene it up. Gonna have my little tipple and elevators going into the mountain. And it's not as big of a cluster F as the last layout. Much more sleek, much more prototypical. I know people will say there's a prototype for everything, but it's just more pleasing. It'll be a lot more functional. And like I said, I have my runaround too, which will definitely help me bring in loads and take out empties, and for my mini little operating sessions that I'll always do them by myself. So like I said, it's looking a lot better. Than the old layout. I don't think I'm gonna add any more track here. Everything's glued down, but of course I did ponder putting one auxiliary siding here, you know, weed it out where they'd store a locomotive or put a bad order car, so I could just add that in if I ever wanted to. Nothing connect anything, just a little stub track. I honestly have been thinking about it the past 2 days. I probably will do it. Just rip this piece up, put in a switch, and but yeah, that's that. So if you go watch the old layout videos, it's gonna look very similar with the rocks and the foam. Or I'm sorry, the foam will be rocks and hillsides and cliffs and lots of foliage, and you know, these tracks will be pretty beat up and rusty and blah, blah, blah. So this scene comes in the mainline tunnel. Gonna have power here, and I'm gonna hide all the power this time and have a nice console for my DCC unit. Right now, just using the standard 1 amp Bachmann POS. It's just nice for when I am in construction. I just have power at will. This scene goes into the tunnel and then out of the tunnel. So we'll fill all this in with foam. That's another thing I'll get to as well. I guess I'll just get to it now. All my foam is in place, or I will say 95% of it. And I'll show you the rest of the layout, but so I got TRACKWORK and foam all in place very, very quickly. I'm not tooting my own horn, it's just reality. But like I said, when you know what you're doing, when you know what you want to do, it all comes quick. And you know, I know patience and taking your time makes the hobby more enjoyable, but I got to this point quickly, so now I can enjoy actually doing scenery again, which I forayed into on the last layout. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm very excited to see how my skills will progress on this layout now, knowing what I know from scenics on the old one. So again, basic mine scene, blah, blah, blah. We'll fill it all in. Might add a little more foam land in this corner. Gonna make my access road go in here, so it's all based around the road, how much I'll fill in. I'm shopping for a couple, maybe like an office type building, you know, like a little whatever. So that's that. Over here, be a nice sprawling sloping hillside. I might, you know, layer this up a little more, but that's the bulk of it. Have it come right up track side, nice run up the track. I'm gonna fill all this in too. These pieces, this piece and this piece, are no man's land for anything of substance, because if you've watched the videos, the layout comes out 2 feet and then goes 8 feet, and then again comes out 2 feet and goes 8 feet. It's actually curved. So right here and then right here is where the tables meet. So these are both removable. They're secure enough, they're not going anywhere, but when I go to move or whatever, which I know I will at some point, I will actually be taking this layout with me in 2 pieces. Can throw it in a U-Haul and blah, blah, blah. So I've already worked around it. This is the only piece of track that's on the removable section, which makes my life very easy. You know, just disconnect here and disconnect here, take out the piece, and I'll slot it back in and have to just fill in the crack. So all this land I'll taper in. And then we get to the logging mill scene. I'm very, very excited about this scene too. I'll get over this way in a second. So it looks like there's a lot going on, and there is. The logging scene on the old layout, you know, the mine was in the same spot. The logging scene was in the same spot, but it was, you know, going east and west instead of north and south. Got a very big yard operation going on here. Lots of traffic, I would say daily traffic. So we got our little warehouse, probably an office building in there too. Some tracks to be loaded, and then maybe just for storage or blah, 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 shunt abilities. We got our saw table, so you'll bring in raw wood over here, maybe even over here. We got our nice little, again, for loading or for inbounds and outbounds. There's no classification. It's a big operation. They got a bunch of crap going on. They're gonna have their own switcher, so they can do whatever the hell they want with their track. I did have this cement or grain or whatever silo you wanna call it, and I've had it forever. I paid a good price for it. It's weathered, it's detailed. I did not, even look at the rooftop stuff, you know, the elevator, the ladder, all that. It's very, very detailed. It's got the little shed. I wanted to use it. I do not have a town scene at all. I'll get to that in a second too. So I didn't have any real other way to put this industry in. So I said, what the hell? This is a super big wood mine, or not mine, a wood, lumber, sawmill, all that. They're bringing in raw materials, shipping out, you know, loads. This is all mocked up. It's not staged. And I got to move stuff around and make it look a little nicer. You know, I ripped off some decals and got to do some detailing up there. But I wanted it to be part of the layout. And as you can see, it's more a scenic layout with 2 industries along the way. So I threw this in here, and I'm going to say, and maybe there's a prototype for this and maybe there's not, it's for the sawdust. So the sawdust comes up through the table saw, the whatever, and you know, then they're gonna load a gondola and hoppers full of sawdust to ship out. So adds a lot of depth and height to the scene. I'm gonna work it in there perfectly. So Might even add some, you know, HVAC looking crap to connect the two buildings. But I'm very excited about that. You know, I'm gonna add details and piles of wood and blah, blah, blah. Again, knowing these are my two devout industries, you know, I'm scouring right now for more sawmill, lumber mill type buildings and mine type buildings to fill out the scenes. Now that I've gotten to this point, the track's all down, the foam's all glued, everything's permanence, except the placement of stuff. Now I can really actually slow down a little bit, which I'm going to take some time and do some hunting for some other stuff to, you know, fill out the scenes. But again, so all of this is stub tracks, you know, shunts in, shunts out. I only have another thing you'll notice, and I've said it, I was gonna do a double main line and I decided against it. I don't need a double crossover. That always gives me fits no matter what kind of track. I didn't need to ballast and maintain and solder and all that other crap, two main lines. It was just too much. And I found, and it's virtual fact, you could say, well, what if you want to run two trains? Well, I had a double main line on my last, my last layout had two. My layout before that had three, which you can go watch those videos too. It was not realistic, just loops. And I was only ever really running one train at a time. Rarely would I run two. So fouling the main, which I know is a big thing for operations. This layout's not a club. This layout is not anything other than my personal in my basement. So fouling the main, I know in real life, but if it's a simple main line, you know, it's honestly, it's a short line. I haven't decided a name yet, but I'm thinking, yeah, it's a Western Pennsylvania short line. There's not going to be any other traffic to speak of. Like I said, I'm going to dedicate and probably paint a switcher for this industry. And if he's going to be setting off cars, it's going to be over here in their little staging yard. Again, I know I glued all this down, but I might even put just one more long stub that runs along the width. I'll probably do that too. Just take up this, just have a go, and then loads will be ready. He'll be switching and doing all that, inbounds and outbounds. So where was I going with that? Fouling the main is not really a concern because there will be no traffic. And I like the idea of just a single main a lot better. It's a lot less anxiety, it was a lot less work. Only problem is that I bought enough track and then some to do a double main line. So now I have a literal ton, probably $200 some worth of extra unit track laying around. So if you see this and you're in one of my groups on Facebook, message me. Maybe I'll just sell it to you at a bulk discount. But yeah, back to the scene. So the hill is going to come down. I'm not going to put any hills behind it. It's going to be flat ground. I'm going to paint the background again. If you watch my videos, it's make-believe land. You know, it's not a real life. So once you get beyond the scene, oh, there's a wall there because, you know, down here, this is just a model railroad, you know. So I'm going to do my backdrop black or an off color. And, you know, the back of the scene's the back of the scene. It's not Disney. You know, it's not a Disney movie. And I'm not being a dick, but some people have yelled at me or been very emphatic about putting a backdrop with clouds or cities. And you saw in the old layout, I had like the building flats for the industrial city scene. And I liked it a lot, but it just didn't, it wasn't, I know it's all fake. It's a make-believe land. I don't need depth, and the depth itself comes from the scene. So the more I can do all in here, I don't want my focal point to be here or here. You know, like looking up the wall and it's all clouds. It's done really well. A lot of people do it really, really well. And a lot of people, in my opinion, I'm not hating on anybody, I'm giving you my opinion. Some people do it amazingly, and some people it takes away from everything they do because they can have a 10 out of 10 layout here and a 2 out of 10 backdrop, and that's all I'm gonna see. That's just how my eyes work. So, so the land's all gonna come in. Like I said, the foam's 85, 90% done, all glued down, all nice and neat, ready to be carved. Be Foamageddon again, you know, carving all this up. So we got our, you know, sawmill cars, got a nice runaround up there, just enough for one car. Like I said, there's gonna be a switcher, just enough for one car or one locomotive, a double axle to be run around, which is perfect. You know, literally I measured out exactly as far back as I could go. Double axle will just clear that with the coupler mounting right over the actual throw on both of these. So it looks close because it is close. So we got from our throat up here, got these, then we got our little saw cars, and then the sawdust mill, silo, whatever the hell. So we got a big runaround here, and then I got a small runaround in here, and then off of this too, I got another runaround. So there's plenty of room for the switcher that'll be based here to go front end or bring a string in or out. This took a lot of kink and working, let me tell you. It's not perfectly straight, but nothing in life or railroading is perfectly symmetrical. It's about as good as it gets. You know, and I gotta move some stuff around. Like I said, there'll be nice gravel driveway and all that crap. You know, piles of wood and pallets and all this little crap and all that crap. So I'm really excited. The scene, it's a big scene. It was a pretty big undertaking to design it, but very happy with how it's come out. So we'll have the road come in here, and then it'll cross all these, and the main road area will be up in here. I gotta, you know, blah, blah, blah. So then another scene I wanted to reincorporate from the old layout was the bridge scene. You know, so I got my trestle up here. Actually, I have two of them only because, like I said, on the old layout I had, you know, that auxiliary main line that went in a big loop. So it was a double track, but it was just a loop down at the city end. So got all this taken out, got the foam. You know, it's going to be a nice rolling hill in. I might put more up here, probably not. I kind of like it lower as it goes. You know, it tapers this way and this way. So once that road, I got to mark it out. You know, I'll work all this in. And then this goes into another, you know, this is all glued down, goes into another tunnel, which takes you around the back of the layout. So it looks point to point, realistic, you know, but it's still a loop, which is the best of both worlds. Because I'm sorry to say again, a couple of my layouts were, but if you just have a train going around here in a yard, then the train goes around the back and you could see it all, and then the whole way there's just trains on trains. It's, in my opinion, it's just not realistic. So again, we got our portal here. Then it's open and easily cleaned and accessible all the way around the back, and you'll tell me it's a waste of space, but I'm filling out as much as I can up here, and you could get, you know, back here. So wasted space a little bit, but it's a corner, it's rounded, looks more unique. We come back here, and the same thing. So it looks a little kinked because none of that's glued down back there. I don't even think I'm going to be honest with you. I'll probably secure it with track pins so it doesn't move. It doesn't move anyway, but so again, I'll work all this down. Sorry for the light. I also like how it runs straight for most of its run, but with the rounded corner in, you know, it has some nice turns. Comes in here, turns going over the bridge, turns back. It's not just straight the entire way, which on the last slide, everything was very straight and 90, you know, 90 being a 90-degree turn. So, well, I guess it's hard to see. I will taper this down to ground level or just above it. I'm going to put, again, the little river scene in there. Got the little fishermen and campers, and on the old layout I had it was at ground level, meaning this level. Go watch those videos if you want what I'm talking about to see a little rail line. Obviously it ended here and ended there, but like it ran along the bank of the river underneath. I might reincorporate that. But again, you know, then it goes back into the little valley and runs its course. So what is nice, again, about the single main, confidence that I've already worked out. Like I said, everything here is glued down. Everything there is glued down, and the main is glued. Like I said, along the back, I'll just secure it all. It's already secure as it is. It's not going anywhere. I'm never working back here. So aside from vacuuming and keeping it clean, you can see it's a little kinked back there because I did a wide loop, wider than I needed to because I wasn't sure how far back I was going to go. But it's a lot less anxiety knowing that I've worked out all the kinks already. I'm going to solder in a few places that I know will need it. But that when I do have a problem area, there's only one main line to have to sort through. When the old layout was a lot bigger as far as square footage, and then when you add double track into that equation, imagine running a train going to cut the grass or something and then coming back down, everything is as you left it, but you don't have any power or something's not running, and then you got to go through every single piece of track or wiring and all that just to, you know, due diligence, let's just say. So holy crap, this is 20 minutes already. I guess I can talk. I'm gonna paint the fascias and the backdrops in the ground, start carving some foam here, but as you can see, a lot of progress has been made. So if you have any questions, ask, tips or tricks, criticisms, let me know. I'm very open to criticism or ideas. I am in all the Facebook groups, including Global HO Scale Railroad Headquarters. I made the group myself. I don't even know the name because it's so long. So hit me up there. I post frequently. I hope you are all doing well. I'll subscribe to your channels. Subscribe to mine. Tips or tricks, Tony Hawk style, let me know. I guess it's a long video. I always say I want to keep it at like 12 minutes and then it ends up being 17 or 24. So things are really coming along. And like I said, in the amount of time. So if you're new or old or just getting back into it or blah, 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 don't be discouraged. Keep doing your thing. Everything is a learning experience. And yeah. So I guess I should have just had a train running this entire time because I'm perfectly able to. Got my little PRR 2616. All right, I'm rambling now. 2612 actually. So, all right, well there you have it. You'll see me again soon. It's fall now, officially almost, and then winter, which is railroad season. So I'm just lucky enough I started this when I did. So now all winter I can get back to scenery. So I really like the look of this though. Really am enjoying it. Just knowing it's all done right. All my previous mistakes on my first two official layouts are, I'm sure I've made some here again, but we'll find out. So, all right, thank you all. Subscribe. Peace out.